Oh, yeah. Ready to roll. Ask me whatever you guys got.
Grew up, were you a Twins fan or a Cubs fan? I mean, do you watch these baseball games?
Yeah, I grew up in Southern Iowa, so I was a Royals fan growing up. We went down to Kansas City a lot, and so. But yeah, my pops was a Twins fan, so we got to when we got to go throw out the first pitch, that was pretty sweet, to be on target field, and then to see all the success that those guys have had is a cool thing for the city, So I'm excited to be rooting them on in the postseason.
TJ, when did the tight end you thing kind of start, and just connecting all these tight ends around the league to share ideas?
Yeah, I think that was like 3 years ago. I think we're on this was our third one. It was just kind of one of those things, George and Trav and Greg and I'm down in Nashville too, and so just to kind of have that community, and Trav came down a couple times and continues to come down. So then it was kind of like one of those things. Let's just get everybody together and. In our position, there's not really secrets. I mean, it's just we're all kind of the same. Personality types, I guess. We're just fun-loving, just careless, just kind of one of those people. People that we like helping out others. So it was kind of one of those things. It was a no-brainer. It was kind of surprising that it hadn't happened before, and so just to have everybody come down to Nashville and hang out, and that's where I spend my off season. So it's super easy for me. Just to drive over to Vanderbilt and see all these tight ends throughout the league, it's incredible. There's so many good, talented players, and just everybody's kind of, hey, on this, why would you do that? Or hey, on this, why do you do that? And everybody watches each other's tape throughout the year. Just scouting defenses, and so you see the tight ends, and so you watch everyone's tape, and so it's fun just to kind of get together and know the person behind the helmet too, and get to know everybody in the league, So it was just kind of a blast. It was kind of a no-brainer, and we have fun with it for sure.
Kind of an informal thing where you're comparing notes with guys when you go down there, or is there a formal time where you guys all sit together and say, hey, let's spend time breaking film down?
Yeah, we do have film meetings, So Trav will get up there and kind of talk about some of the stuff he does, and sometimes that applies, sometimes it doesn't, just because he kind of freelances every once in a while, And so he's just such a great player. So to be able to kind of pick his brain in certain situations, and Trav's my guy, I love that guy, and then George, and I'm with him almost every day, So him and I are always pushing each other to be the best, and then there's just guys that come out like Laporta came down a couple times, and I'm out there with Rob Tunyon, who has had some success, some really successful years, with the 10 touchdowns a few years ago, and just guys that are really wanting to work and be the best at this that you can in this league, So just it's fun just to share kind of what we do and why we do things, and how to beat man coverage, how to find zones, and certain things like that. So it's a blast.
I always seem to have a credit to being tight end U of its own. So is it all right for all the Hawkeyes to share that mantle with tight end U?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really share it. We kind of just say we're the top of it, So, but it's fun. I mean, we're, like I say, we get to see each other. Noah comes down and hangs out and kind of works out with us a few times, and just to have all those guys, when I was at the University of Iowa, it was such a tight-knit group, and to be there with Kirk Ferentz and Brian and all those people, they just make it such a family atmosphere, and so just to it kind of it's hard not to carry that stuff into the league, just where you came from. And, Iowa City was a very special place to me. I didn't get to spend as much time as I would have liked to there, obviously, just because I left after 3. And so, it's hard not to have that brotherhood as college teammates-ish, and me being a freshman when George was a senior, it was just he took me under his wing, and then once I got to the league, it was kind of a no-brainer for me just to go down to Nashville and hang out with him and train, and he's built such a great facility down there for all the guys to come down, and we just have a blast, and I'm only 15 minutes away, which is nice.
Travis's game impresses you most, just knowing what he's able to do?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously just such a great player. You know, I think one of the things that he's kind of talked about is just reading zone defenses, you know, and finding open areas, and he's got a guy, you know, in Patrick that can kind of, you know, extend plays and freelance a little bit, and so Trav does a lot of that, you know. I mean, you'll see him sit in a zone, and he'll see Patty just move his feet, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go over here, you know, and so he does a lot of stuff that, you know, is just really really cool to watch, you know. I mean, it's fun to just to watch their film and see what they're doing. But he's just such a great player, and you know, man coverage. There's so many things I could go off on a tangent about all the things that he does, but he varies his speeds. He sees the defense. He kind of does some stuff at the top of the route that are cool, you know. And so, and that's kind of who I've admired throughout the league, throughout my time in the league, you know, was Trav, you know. I mean, just going back and watching it when I was younger, and to see all the stuff that he can do, and I thought that I think that I have the ability to do a lot of the things that he does, you know, and so it is incredible to watch him and kind of just take some stuff from him, and it's fun to be down in Nashville and pick his brain.
What do you think, is that like something you can get better at, or is it kind of just like processing in real time?
No, it's something you can definitely get better at throughout your time. I mean, you'll notice, you know, players' demeanors throughout the game and throughout your time in the league. You know, you realize, hey, it's zone, single high, could be three fire zone, could be all these different things. You know, three, the seam should be open, backers are carrying me, you know, and you know, cover two, your corners are outside you know, in between the numbers, and the sideline are always fun to hit, you know, because you got hole shots on the sideline, so middle of the field's open, backers got to carry you up top. So those are things that, you know, you kind of learn, and I like talking to the defensive guys too, because it's like, hey, why'd you carry me here when you usually don't, you know? And it's like, well, okay, that guy came off the edge, it's actually this coverage, and it's like, okay, cool. So pre-snap, you know, elimination in a lot of those things, and you can tell the demeanor of the defense based on pre-snap and seeing if they're going to be in man or zone. And then once they're in zone, that, you know, a lot of teams now are trying to disguise it, where they, you know, show too high, bring the strong safety down, play three buzz, or you know, play three weak with the other safety, and you know, or they'll play man off of it and have that safety come down and guard us, you know. So there's so many ways that they can kind of do different things, and you just have to feel that and understand, hey, it's this kind of zone, and how am I attacking it, you know, and what does my route allow me to do, you know, because there's some routes where, hey, you have to be between here and here, and there's nowhere else, and it's not like you can go over on the other hash and hang out, you know. So it's just all feel, I guess, and you know, spatial awareness. So.
When you're on a team that is playing one of the tight ends that's at tight end university like you are this week, how much do you, I guess, go to defensive guys, or how much do they ask you for tips on it, or is that kind of against the code of the whole thing?
No, I mean, they ask, but it's easier for me to say than it is for them to guard, you know, I guess, you know, because there's so many different things that we can run on things, and so many different stems that we have that disguise different things that we run. And so, yeah, I mean, you can kind of try to help out a little bit, but it's not like I know exactly what Trav's doing, or I know exactly what Noah's or George is doing on these certain plays, because just scheme allows different things. And based on the play, you know, he could be outside releasing for a flag, or he could be outside releasing for a basic, and so those are two different things at the top of the route, you know. So it's you know, I mean, I can try to help out a little bit, maybe sit down and watch a little film, but you know, there's so many keys that those guys have based on the formation, 2x2, 3x1, and you know, and Kansas City does a lot of 4x. So with what they're doing, you know, there's so many things that they can run, and where they can put Trav.
Last couple. What do you think of all the attention he's getting this week, Travis?
He always gets a lot of attention. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything has changed in that sense. Maybe a little more off the field, but yeah, he always gets a lot of attention.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Appreciate it.